Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Death Trooper and Night Trooper Battle Pack. This is set 75412. It's 119 pieces, not a very big set. This was I think like $23 over at Walmart. I just picked it up yesterday. I had kind of seen it a little bit that it's coming out. I didn't know when it was going to be out, so I feel myself kind of blessed to be able to find it right away and be able to pick it up, because being out here in small town America, I don't always get all the new releases right away. And there are a couple times where I've ordered something from Amazon, not figuring it was going to be here, and then I'm pleasantly surprised that it actually shows up pretty much right away. So I, kind of found it by accident. So we have a small transport here. We'll get this all opened up here, and we will go from there. So, let's see what we've got and go from that point. All right, so let's get this all opened up here. Yeah. Okay. And you can see that we have one booklet, two bags. Now with 119 pieces, we can dump both bags out. We do not have a bag 1, bag 2. It's just two bags. So, kind of fun. Always nice getting small transports. Kind of one of those, I'd say like a squad transport. Not so much of a platoon transport, but more of a squad transport. And we have some different looking faces here. Just kind of wanting to note, these guys are more kind of brownish, grayish. We have some markings on the back, so I don't know what you want to do for a take on that. Why they may be that way. Look at the other heads, and as I get those on, we will kind of look at them just briefly. Find their helmets. We have the Death Troopers. Let's see here. Here's a blaster. Another blaster. Helmet. Another set of legs. Another set of legs. Alright, now we're getting some torsos. 1, 2. Here's number 3. Oh. Looks like it's relatively the same head on all of these. So as I'm looking at the different heads here, they do look like they're the same heads. I don't know why they went to this color, just being honest, but it's perfectly fine. Maybe it's a different alien race that we have for the conscripted stormtroopers that we have. Just kind of hard to say here. Now, we do have one of these with, with a gray. We have our two Death Troopers, and of course their helmets look pretty nice. The paint job looks really nice, and we do have some nice print on the back. Our other Death Trooper here. And then last but not least, we have our other Stormtrooper. And he's got some scuff marks on here, which is kind of typical. One of the things that people that do cosplaying, whenever they get their helmets, I've seen them do this on different videos. I've never done it myself. I've never made a helmet of my own, but I've seen people doing it where they get a helmet and it looks very nice, nicely brand new painted, and then they will throw it into some rocks to give it scuff marks that obviously would be very true. So they don't look shiny. Nice brand new, just off the production assembly, shiny. So, and with 119 pieces, we'll see that we don't have a overly large booklet here, but it is some fun. Okay, so from what they're showing, he gets that helmet and he gets that helmet. He's got some straps. I kind of wonder if this isn't from the Ahsoka movie in a way, because how these guys are kind of bandaged up. So if you're trying to get figures that would match the Ahsoka, or not Ahsoka movie, but the Ahsoka show, when they come across Thrawn, and we have a bunch of stormtroopers that have kind of duct taped or banded their armor together to keep it holding up throughout the years without being resupplied and everything else, which I don't know if I really like that version of it or not. I think Thrawn would be a little bit more intelligent and able to keep things together than what they had kind of done there. Just kind of my take on it. But everyone else is going to have their own personal view, and that's perfectly fine. It's just, Thrawn was always a very cunning and forward-thinking individual. He would try to think a couple steps ahead, trying to make sure that he's anticipating other plans and all that. And I do recognize that when he got thrown over to wherever they find him, that was an error that he did not foresee, but I still think that he would have come up with an idea of how to make sure everyone was taken care of and resupplied. So, alright. Now just trying to figure out exactly which way's the front. I'm going to guess that this is going to be the front, because that's going to be our side shooters coming up here soon. Okay. Apparently I missed a piece here, as I'm kind of trying to rush through this. We have another side here. I think these are where they're standing. I guess I kind of envision this a little bit like a helicopter, an early helicopter, where they might be underneath this and then they're just kind of standing there in the doorway, trying to get to and from where they got to go. Of course, that's our engine pylon. Okay, then we're going to build this up. All right. That's for their backpacks or possible backpacks. Because if they're standing here, then this would be a good spot for their helmets, their backpacks, anything else that they have on them, to be able to have that spot taken up. If I'm looking at this correctly. And that's still going to have something taken up on top of that. All right. So, oops. And then we got to break that all together. Starting to wonder if I didn't goof something up here. Oops. Because my arm is over that spot, I kind of passed up something. So I'm supposed to do that and then go to this. And then we're going to repeat this side. go out on a limb and say, nope, I goofed that up, didn't I? Okay. How about if I put the right pieces on there? I'm trying to mimic this side, but I'm thinking this part on top right away. So I'm kind of goofing that up. So I know that this is going to have to match up. Because whenever we do this, we usually match it all up to make sure it all fits the aesthetic. Especially when I do wings and that, you've noticed if you've been watching this, if I'm building one wing, I will mimic that same wing. I will flip it around so I can get that built in a little bit faster. Alright, and then we have our shooters here. So we have that and our shooting piece. Whoops. And that's what these are going to be for. Not that I typically shoot. My big thing with the shooters are I don't like just throwing pieces on the ground. That's why I build on tables. And by shooting these around, then I'm always afraid I'm going to lose them. Someone's going to step on them and I'm going to be yelled at by the wife. And I don't really want to lose all the pieces. These become extra pieces for me for something else to build later. Sometimes these are flat, so that could be maybe for wings or something. Whatever my little imagination kind of comes up with. But there again, I'm also not a kid, so I will admit that. I mean, mentally I think I'm still there, but I'm not really a kid, so in that regard, I'm not looking at trying to have all the shooters because I'm not thinking of it in those regards. I think when I was a kid, I enjoyed having the shooting missiles and all that stuff, but being an older gentleman, not quite as much. Okay, I'm willing to bet I know how this is going to play out. Nope, I'm wrong. I thought we were going to have another one of these out here looking at that. But they must go farther out here, I'm going to guess. So I'm going to put these on there right away, even though it doesn't tell me to do it. And we will see how right or wrong I am. Kind of prick all that in. Does very nice. And then we have a smooth piece. That's our intakes, I think, for our ion engines. Oh, and this is going to get flipped around this way. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Because I already had that all built up. That's why. All right. And then that. Oh, here we are. Sits on the front, kind of like a like some of the trams that they've done. So we can still get a figure in here. We can always pull that off, put a figure in there. Come on. Nope. Uh-oh. So I'm dropping this back and forth. Okay, and we're going to have 4 of these. So, nice simple build. And the fact that it's got that hole in the center, I'm going to guess that that's what we're going to get put in there, so that way this all works out right. That was a piece of plastic from some of the figures that we've been doing. Okay. And then that's exactly what I thought. So, it looks like this would go towards the front. Goes on like that. And like that. Alright, very simple design. We can get them on here. I don't know who we would probably put in as a pilot. He's got a special helmet. I'll tell you what, let's make him the pilot. If I can get him in there. I didn't have the feet down there quite as much as what I probably should have. I'm going to give him his rifle. We'll turn it sideways so everything fits. Hopefully. It should. There. Now he fits in there pretty good. And we want to get these guys. Make him the sniper. Or just the I think I'm going to have these guys on this side. They're going to have a little feud as to who's going to be a little bit better. You know, the Death Trooper or the Stormtrooper. How do we sound on that one? Like, oh, well, we got teamed up with these guys. We're better than them. We're going to be on our side. That way we can talk about what's going on in our unit and not him with his unit. Kind of deal. All right. So, nice and small. Works out really well. I could see getting a couple of these. Now, like I said, this is about $23. Kind of on the expensive side, just being honest. The nice thing is we are getting 4 figures. So, with that being said, it's not that bad, but it is a little on the pricier side. I don't know if it's Disney demanding a little extra, or if it's just how the price really works out. Just want to kind of throw it out there and be honest, because I don't know for sure. And the nice thing is we do have the hangers here, so this is going to be hanging units, so if we want to put the weapons there, we can. I could easily take his blaster and I could put it up here. If I have another Stormtrooper or something, I could easily put it on here. Actually, because of doing some of the other Lego sets, I could put an ISB officer right there. So now we have our officer in charge with the Stormtrooper and the 2 Death Troopers, and of course, there we are. So that kind of works out really nice, and it's fun. Fun little build. Great for the kids. Little on the pricier side, I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, I still think it's a little pricey, because I do have another set we're going to have for next week, because these just came out. I have other sets to do, but they've been out for a while, and I'm sure plenty of other people have done them, but, you know, just do my own takes on them. It's fun doing these. It's just, you know, when parents are looking at the price and all that, you know, $23 for this is a little bit much, and unless you're really into Lego and building the stuff and are a big Star Wars fan or whatever, and you're just a parent saying it's just that thing or whatever, yeah, I like the movies, but big deal. We start looking at the price being a little bit of, well, geez, that sounds like quite a bit. So in that regard, I'm definitely going to say yes, it seems like it's a little on the expensive side. So with that being said, not bad. Not a bad figure. Great to throw in here. Much smaller than our, because I'm looking at some of the other sets we have here. I've got in the background, and I don't know how well you guys can see it because, here, let me move this up here a little bit. All right, so now you guys can see a little bit of what we all have here, because my pool table is everything. It gets to be the everything table. So whether we want to sit it out in front of the store to make sure that we don't have rebels going into our store, we have an F1 racetrack set over here. So whether you're trying to make sure everything's fine and safe for your local F1 race on whatever planet this is, we have that availability. And that is one thing I will say about Lego, because we have all this other stuff. The different buildings, the cities, the F1s, the Arctic Explorers, the Jungle Explorers, the everything else we have. Harry Potter sets, with their thought of rebuild the galaxy. You could throw Star Wars into anything. And I've always kind of labeled it off as it could be anywhere from like a Little House on the Prairie to medieval to as futuristic as you want to go. So with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.